very much, and I feel very honored to be around amazing speakers today. I think we've all had an incredible time together, and I surely will walk away from this conference a different person with new ideas. My name is Paula Schwarz. I'm half Greek and half German, and a couple of things happened to me that have dared me to think differently, and it's important to me to be here today to maybe share some of these experiences, because I think I started off just like many girls in this surrounding of ours, wanting to be a model, wanting to be out there and actually, be in the public eye quite a lot. And so I did that, and then I had quite a couple of jobs with that, but I realized that it didn't really make me happy. And at that point, then I went into the startup field and thought, okay, now I'm going to do something that's a little bit more of value. And I actually wanted to start a startup because I felt as though it was something that many people wanted to do. It became a hype. And I built a team around me, and I built a very traditional structure. I founded a company very early on, and I had a proven business model, and I had a huge team. So it was like in a textbook. And then life actually asked me to think differently, because obviously this startup did not go so well. And I then set out to a personal journey that actually brought me first to Africa, because I wanted to take some time away. I didn't want to go into university anymore. I didn't want to have structure. I just wanted to see the world and really build away from things that were given to me based on things that I thought I should have been doing. And so I went to Africa, and we went to the startup bus, and I met this amazing team, started mentoring them. And luckily, we won the competition. So we went from Tanzania to Uganda to Kenya to Rwanda and the Congo, and we built a platform for cars, a sharing platform for cars that's called Jumbo Car. That's still doing wonderfully today. And for me, this was the first moment where I realized, like, okay, I can actually build stuff. And that was very, very interesting. So this experience from the startup bus then led to me being on the road in a chicken's bus, we called it. It was a terrible bus. It was going up and down all the time. We didn't have internet, but we were still coding. And for me, this experience is quite important, because it was actually influenced very much from my childhood. Since after my first failure, I went to this island, which is Samos. It's at the border between Greece and Turkey. I took some time off, and I started building mobile with refugees who by then were coming from Afghanistan and Iraq. So this was obviously before the whole migration topic. And this is where I started to build tech for the first time, really hands-on. Even before the startup bus in Africa. And when the bus actually finished, I had built the concept for the startup boat, because I was on the way home for the summertime. I wanted to take some time off. It was super intense, building and creating the team. We were also between Europe and Africa a lot. And then, obviously, as you all know, this is, by the way, the team from the startup bus. As you all know, then the refugee crisis hit, which is here. And for me, that was a very intense experience, because I had invited 18 people at a time when there was a high time of the refugee crisis to actually come to the startup boat, and I didn't expect that it would explode so much. So it was actually in July 2015 when I pushed the button for the website to come up of the startup boat, and a week later we had 10,000 cancellations of people who didn't want to come to Greece anymore to do their vacations. We had the first 50,000 people come in to the islands, and then I realized, okay, this is going to get very interesting. And we had the top 1% of McKinsey show up to the first boat. We had Facebook, we had Cisco, we had Google, we had strategists, we had refugees also join us, and we went on this first boat together at the island that I just showed you, which is here. And what you have to know about this island is that it's actually 1,000 meters from Turkey. So we had a massive influx. And for us, that was a crazy experience because we had 14 boats an hour coming our way. And then we built an information platform for refugees as the first tool. And we actually saw that we were having incredible impact because this one platform had 2 million users in the last year, and it was built on €6, right? So based on this experience, we went home. We saw that there were so many people building other things, and we opened a co-working space. So we just dared to go into an office of friends and ask them, if we can use it just to unite people. And then they self-organized and they built a structure around it. And now we have in 7 cities around Europe, we have these migration hubs, these co-working spaces where you can actually go to. And the journey went actually on, as you know, because it's a phenomenon that has really stuck with us for a while. So we thought that we didn't want to stop there. We actually want to do 1 boat a month. And that was pretty intense because we were between the islands and the academia because we constantly kept sharing what we were seeing. And we went to Berlin and to London to bring people together. So it was all about stepping out and communicating what you've seen. And I'm sure that many people around here also, you do see things that are significant. And I would like to encourage you to actually overcome these boundaries and share them and talk to people around it. So for us, this meant that we had a very theoretical approach to things that was based on design thinking with scientists involved, politicians involved, and media involved also. But based on this whole theory, so it was groundwork and then really creating the first concepts and then growing them into solutions with the partners. We were also very much focused on sharing these experiences with students at universities. And this, for all of us, was quite difficult because, you're a humanitarian worker on the one hand, and then on the other hand, you have to communicate the results. But I think from that you can also grow, and you can grow an amazing vibe. And what this meant for us is that, we became more interested in what we were actually able to achieve. So we started focusing on this one refugee camp on Samos, and we started implementing all the devices that we were actually creating or that we were looking at, because we thought it was important to have one best case example. And this is a medical container from Cisco that I was talking about to the whole island. And no one would believe me, so I was the crazy person always talking about a container. And then we actually flew these containers in. And we implemented Wi-Fi in the camp together with Facebook. And that gave us a little bit of hope. So, we're now building this ecosystem. So we have a migration hub on the island that is run by a local together with us as a support group. And then we have a coding school that's in an old museum that we won over because we just used logical thinking to explain to people that you need change, and you need it massively when you've had a crisis in the economy for 9 years. It's just extremely important. And then the government called, the German government, and said, hey, what you guys are doing is awesome. Don't you want to run more boats in more regions? Because refugee crisis, yes, it's very important, but it's also important to bring together people in other regions and connect the politicians to the UN, for example, that thinks in resolutions, to the startup sector that think in tools. And don't you want to try and bring this design thinking approach into the world? So I was, a little bit hesitant with that because they wanted us to go to Manila, to Jakarta, and to Bangalore first and to find partners there. And we actually managed that. So we found amazing teams. And, I reached out to people who I liked. And they said, yes, they can use this structure and they can scale it. And we dared to go that step. And again, think outside the box. And it was absolutely not what anyone expected and was also in the beginning hoping to do. But it's just something that developed over time because it made sense. And so, to go with the flow is most of the time a very good thing. And I'm very grateful for this step that we actually took. So this is my team now. And yeah, we're still together. I think what's important, even though you try to dare to overcome the boundaries and you dare to think differently, it's very important also as an entrepreneur to take informed decisions. And by now, I'm not a very big fan of going too fast, too quickly, because in a time where you have viral social media and communications, trust is the most important thing. And trust is something that's also the base for a stable team. And if you as an entrepreneur, if you dare to do things and your team doesn't go with you, then you're wrong. And then you have to own up to that and also explain yourself. So I think management of relationships is the most important thing. And if you dare to do one thing, it's to believe in yourself, believe in what you do, believe in the message that you're trying to bring across, and inspire others with it. And that is then truly scalable. And that's something that will remain as a fundament. So yeah, I think also the last thing that I would like to say is that on your way, you will come across very many different also negative experiences. And as entrepreneurs, you need to have a sort of a way to turn the negative into a positive. So with the things that I've seen, it's been, of course, a challenge to keep the balance. But at some point, you become very good at re-energizing yourself. And only that can give you the real energy to also dare to think differently again and again, because the most important resource is yourself. And so, yeah, I encourage you to take the steps and go your way and trust in your gut. Thank you very much.